Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. Today is January 10th, 2021, Sunday afternoon. We continue to work on a cute little snowman. We have finished this section yesterday. We are starting a new section over here. Since I dumped a whole tray of drills, we're going to start over here on the star symbol. If I may ask you, could you please hit the like and the subscribe button? It helps me to know that you are interested in my videos. Thank you very much ahead of time. So, shall we continue with this absolutely adorable snowman? Hopefully, tomorrow we can turn it over and you can see the face of him. As I said, we're going to work on the star symbol. I tried to put my tray as close as possible to the place where I am working without dumping it all over the place like I did before, and I had to start all over. You see, I have become quite apt with the three-placer, even if it picks up only one drill. Oh, dear me. Now, if you remember, I was telling you about the first period of time after we moved to Hungary from the USA, with 3 primary school-aged children. We moved into a village house with no indoor plumbing, no bathroom, minimal kitchen with a wood-burning stove, no running water. We had to go to a well with the bucket brigade to get water. So yesterday we got to the point where we got a bathroom and indoor plumbing. The next item on the list was to set up a halfway workable kitchen, which is essential with such a big family. Now, the water was already brought in from the street, which was very far away, to the bathroom, which was, to my surprise, at the front of the house, but at that time there really was no street. It looked over fields, wheat fields, corn, and some cucumber plots that people made a little extra money with besides working at a day job. So the water came from very far into the house. So now we're at the point where we have water in the bathroom, but nothing in the kitchen yet. No water. No refrigerator, no water, no gas stove, buckets. So in order to bring water into the kitchen, we had to bring it from the bathroom. And for some strange reason, they put the pipes outside the walls rather than carve a way for them in the wall and then bring them in like that and then hide the pipes in the wall. No, they put it outside on the wall. So both the cold water and the hot water had to be brought across the bathroom, through the hall, across the kitchen to the end of the kitchen where the sewer. Well, actually, there was no sewer. There was I can't think of a name. There is a name for it. A hole in the yard where all the wastewater and everything went. I really can't think of the name in English. So that's where the downspout of the kitchen sink, we bought one, was. So it had to be brought over there, all the way to the back, which was a lot of pipes. I did ask the man working why are they putting it outside the wall. They said they don't know. So I tried to look halfway intelligent. By this time they already had this idea of the weird Americans. Like they want to have a bath every night, and they want to have running water in the kitchen, and they would like to have hot water in the kitchen to wash dishes with. Very weird people. Yeah. So we had all these pipes outside on the wall. Which seemed to work, except for the fact that you really had to run the water quite a long time in order to get hot water. So as long as we had the little wood-burning stove, I still kept the big kettle on there to heat up the heat of water. It was a lot of wasted water, to get hot water. And remember, I told you the water only gets heated at night. So you had to sort of make do with the 200 liters all during the day, because then you have no more hot water until the next morning. And I don't know why these drills don't want to stick. I may have to load up with wax my drill pen again. Nope, this is not going to work. So as you can imagine, I did have to learn quite a few things. First of all, if you want the workman to do anything, you must specify exactly verbatim what it is that you want them to do. And do not leave out any minor details like, excuse me, you need to hook up the heater in the boiler to the electricity or it won't heat. You see, you have to tell them that you need to hook it up. And you need to turn it on, and that's the only way you get hot water. I thought it was quite logical and without needed to be said, but no, it needs to be said. Also, if you want the woodwork stripped of the old paint, you need to tell them to put a new coat of the sealer on there, and then put a new coat of varnish on there, or they will not do it. So you have to itemize every single movement. I started making a list, and I started putting check marks as to what I wanted done. But we got along just fine with the people doing the indoor plumbing, mainly the bathroom, and then we got to the kitchen. Now in Hungary, not only do you give them breakfast with coffee and sandwiches and beer and shots of this horrible alcoholic thing that I swear you can use it for antifreeze. It's called palinka. Yeah, you give them with the coffee. And then they get another snack at 10 o'clock in the morning, because in Hungary they eat 5 times a day. And then you cook them at least a 2-course dinner. In Hungary we eat the main meal at noon. So at 1 o'clock, you serve them soup and the main dish, whatever, usually with some kind of meat, all to be cooked on this small wood-burning stove that by this time did manage to learn how to use it. And I did manage to learn that you need to open the chimney and then you do not get poisoned with the smoke filling up the whole house. And then the workmen screaming and yelling that the Americans are trying to kill them. Actually, I had nothing personally against any of the workers, you know. Half of them were relatives that I didn't know about because I didn't grow up in this country. So I was not familiar with the, you know, with all the relative scene that most people take for granted. In America, all we had, my mother and father and 4 children. That's it. No extended family over there. Now, in my father's village, his father's side, so my grandfather's side, actually both my grandfathers died in wars. My father's father died in First World War, and my mother's father died in the Second World War. So I did not know any of them. But anyway, on my father's side, it was a very large family. And of course, I only knew my grandmother, my father's mother, and I knew none of the relatives of my father's side. So this is where all the relatives came from. And of course, they got married and they had children and grandchildren and aunts and uncles and, you know, the whole family scene that was totally new to me. But anyway, they were not shy about accepting money for the work being done at the house. They just kept on saying that these Americans have weird habits. They're, you know, cleaning fanatics, bathing fanatics. And I'm like, any of your business? So I spent my day cooking and cleaning up after the work people. The children spent their day learning Hungarian. The funniest of situations you ever seen in your life, because I could hardly speak Hungarian myself. My knowledge of the Hungarian language was extremely basic. And, you know, I did the hands and feet translation, trying to explain myself as to what I wanted done. And our wonderful workmen absolutely enjoyed me stuttering and, you know, I could hear them in the background as they're working, you know, they probably were laughing. But I figured, okay, if you want to eat a good dinner, then you better behave yourself. Actually, to be honest, for some reason, the food cooked on this wood-burning stove thing tasted absolutely delicious. I never would have guessed. I don't know because of the wood or what have you, but it had a totally different flavor. Even if I do say so, I'm a good cook. But I was very surprised. Little by little, we got into the routine of things in a village in Hungary. Things were changing very rapidly because of the change of political changes. And with the changes came the fact that my first husband, as I told you, he died 20 years ago, was allowed to finally work, get a job. So for 6 months, we had to support ourselves with whatever we brought with us from America. Now, we were prepared for this, so it was a well-planned move. However, this did not make things any easier. The only thing that made things any easier was a good sense of humor and a willingness to learn, to do the way they do things. So now we have the men working in the kitchen, which means that my stove got moved to the shed. So not only did I not have a kitchen, I was moved out of the temporary kitchen to the woodshed, which of course made it easier to bring wood in, because the wood was right there for the fire. But as far as cooking was concerned, it was difficult. So I learned to make this big pot of, one-pot meals, because I never knew how many people there's going to be to feed. There may be 2 guys coming to work in the morning, and by the time it comes dinner time, there would be 10 of them. And I would say, what do you do? Did you have more? How did there get to be so many people in here? And they said, well, we needed some materials, so we called a friend, and then the friend called another friend because they didn't have it, and that one called another friend, and they told this friend that, oh, she's a good cook, stick around until noon. And I said, oh, thank you. How nice of you. Next time I'll go to somebody's house and I will invite myself to dinner. If that's the way you do it, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So we left the guys over there working. Little by little, things came along. And then it came to the point of putting the floor down in the hallway by the entrance door. And there was only one entrance to the place. Now, when they put the floor down, you can't walk on it. Right? Right. I did sort of mention quietly, excuse me, I have many talents, but flying is not one of them. Now, if I cannot walk on the floor, how am I supposed to get in the house? How am I supposed to get in my room? Not to mention the 3 children. Yes. Well, silly little me, of course, they had a solution for that. They put boards down over the new floor, on top of it. And then you have to be very careful over the wobbly floor, wobbly wood planks. Slowly my English is coming back. So you don't fall over it. Because if you fall on a new floor, then the new floor will be damaged. So they told me. I asked, what about me? What if I get damaged if I fall? I guess the floor would be more important if it got damaged. So we walked on wood planks, carrying buckets of water on the wood planks. It was very interesting. Too bad I didn't have a camera to record all of this, because I think you would be rolling on the floor laughing. Totally. I mean, I don't think survivor training could be worse than this. But the children took it very well. Children are marvelous, and they adapt very fast. They learn the Hungarian language very fast. And they made friends. they were like a curiosity having these American children in a village. They have never seen any outsiders there. So I don't know what they expected, that the kids would have horns and tails, or I don't know. I mean, they were true blood Hungarians born in America, that's all. Both mother and father were both Hungarian. That was me and my first husband. Although we seem to have lost all our rights, and I really don't understand how, but as things changed, we got our citizenship back, which we never gave up, but, I mean, I had no choice as far as do I want it or don't I want it, because I was a child. And nobody asks a child whether they want to be a refugee. But a child adapts to the circumstances much easier and thinks of being a refugee as a game or some sort of outing, Then the everyday humdrum sets in. Yes, you have to go to school in this country too. You have to learn a new language. The European way of educating children is much higher education than they received in America in a public school. So they had a lot to catch up on. You can imagine trying to do all of this. In the meantime, the house is being modernized with the basic, modern conveniences, which I presumed was basic. To the outsiders, I was being, very particular, very strange. I got these city people, they can't do anything, not to mention the fact that they are from America. And if you're from America, then you're swimming in money, right? No, you're not. Especially not with all these kids. But that is what is presumed. And I think to this very day that presumption still exists, that if you are from America, you're some sort of rich person. I noticed that it's still prevalent when you're going as a tourist, that it is presumed that you're swimming in money. What they don't understand, if you are going on a holiday, you have been saving up for that holiday for years and years and years. Perhaps once in your lifetime you are able to do it. And it doesn't mean that you're rich. It's been probably doing without to be able to make that holiday. I'm talking about average middle class, with 4 kids, 1 job. That's the way things go. You have mortgage to pay, you have a student loan to pay back, etc., etc. So according to European standards, maybe your wages seem to be a lot of money, but you have to remember that the cost of living is adapted to the wages, or the wages are adapted to the cost of living, which means you live from paycheck to paycheck. I'm sure you are familiar with that scenery. And this is exactly what we did also. The fact that we were able to move was because the first husband's factory closed down, and they gave a final payment to the workers. And of course, these US dollars went a long way over here in Hungary. No, actually, we could not have survived as well staying in America. So this was a choice I don't regret. It was of necessity, but it didn't seem to do any harm as far as the children go. We all survived it. We all thrived. Children got their education. So really nothing to complain about. Okay, we are finished with the symbol, star symbol. And we're going to go on to second time today that I dumped these drills. These drills do not like me, I think. I love the color of them, but they don't like me today. It happens. No worries. Now we need the question mark, which is another blue color. Now, we came to this country in November. So we had our first Christmas in this wonderful, very basic house. And there was a Lutheran church. Like I said, it was my father's village. So he grew up in that. Of course, since then, the church has been remodeled, etc., you know, because there was a war on and many other things. And then there was a communist regime, and then there was a socialist regime, and then there's democracy. And I think for now, we're stuck with democracy. So our first Christmas, we had for the first time a live Christmas tree. According to Hungarian traditions, we set it up on the 24th of December while the children were attending children's afternoon church service, because the Christmas tree is also a gift, not just the presents that are under the tree, and usually it is not shown until at night. So the children have a Christmas afternoon service where the children put on, you know, the passion play and have a little program and sing and, you know, do their thing. Usual children's programs, where my children knew nothing of Hungarian. But they enjoyed it anyway. They liked the new kind of candy that is only present at Christmas time. There was a completely new experience for them, not the usual ho 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 and Merry Christmas, but in Hungary, the baby Jesus brings the gifts with the baby angels, not Santa Claus. So that was something new for them. So we went to the afternoon services, and I snuck out and went home. We lived about a small block away from the church. This is a village, you know, nothing was far away. And I set up the Christmas tree, decorated it. And first year we had candles, traditional tree with candles. Let me say that I was a little bit weary. I was afraid that it was going to set on fire. But nobody else seemed to be worried about it. Everybody had candles on their Christmas tree. So I figured it's okay. And I set it up in the hall because the 3 bedrooms were occupied, you know, one for the 2 girls, one for the 1 boy, and one for us. And then I went back out to go back to the church. And the only thing I wished for was a little bit of snow. You know, being from Buffalo, New York, I sort of missed the snow at Christmas time. And I got to the church just in time for the children to finish the services. They asked me where I was. I said, well, I had to go home and put some wood on the fire, you know, where it would burn down and we would be freezing. A little bit of white lie, you know. So we came out of church. I was feeling a bit homesick, missing my family. And as we came out, a beautiful light dusting of snow started to fall. I was the happiest person on earth. I mean, you could not have given me a more wonderful present than that beautiful white snowflakes. And really, the people didn't understand what I was so happy about. I said, it's snowing. They said, yeah, it's snowing, so we have to shovel snow. I said, no, you don't understand. It's snowing. It's Christmas snow. Well, anyway, they just, you know, they just looked at me. Weird Americans, they like snow. What can I say? Anyway, I was thrilled. And I made no secret about being thrilled. There wasn't much gifts under the tree. I mean, we just moved across the world. But the fact that we were all together, we were safe, we were healthy, we were warm, there was delicious food on the table, there was gift enough. And the future looked more promising than what we left behind. And I will leave you for now. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of chit chat. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful Sunday. Goodbye for now. Please click the like and the subscribe button. Bye.